Carter,
Hi.
you you look stunning.
Oh my God, thank you so
I
much.
came here in my band shirt. Shout out to Screaming Females.
Yes.
R.I.P.
Ah.
But you came to fucking fight. Look at
Oh,
you.
no, listen, I've been
Oh,
inspired by one Miss Barivo
oh
and
my
her
God.
her loveliness, her essence, her everything. Um, from the day she stepped into the role to,
Uh-huh.
the moment that I saw her on the screen, to the interviews that uh, Miss Ariana and her are holding hands, and a lot of people have been thinking it's too much, and I think it's just enough.
Oh yeah,
Um,
those people don't have souls. Fuck them.
those people don't have friends.
Yeah, no,
They
they
they don't
don't.
have like true friendship. They
Yeah.
don't have true love in their lives. And I feel sorry for them
Hmm.
because that right there is almost as good as the movie itself. Like
Mm.
just watching them um as they talk and they emote right before our eyes. So yeah.
Well, coincidentally, we are going to be talking about Miss Cynthia. Um, but
Yeah.
before we do, shout out to all the people who fucking streamed our interview with a vampire episode.
Yeah, like I don't exact, and I haven't read any of the comments, so I
No,
don't
I
know.
can't. I refuse.
I am going to. I'm
Okay,
going to read them because
okay.
I don't, like, honestly, if they're negative, I don't really care. And if they're positive, like, I guess it's only six of them, so like I can say, hey, yay.
Sure. I,
Um,
we have to come up with a deal between each other. I don't want to hear anything about them. So, however
I'm
you process,
confused. Like, I would have never, like, unless you ask, I'm not going to tell you.
thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one thing I pride myself on is not being in the comments. Like,
I am in the comments, and like
and that's fine.
occasionally, occasionally I will respond back, but I don't know. Like I know that I'm weird, and I expect most people not to get me. So, you
Oh,
know,
sure. Yeah,
I expect most people to be loathing me.
I'm too emotional. I can't understand people's true feelings versus troll behavior, and that
um,
confuses me. My brain can't compute. Are you being sincerely mean because you didn't like something because whatever, versus you
yeah.
are just saying something to get a reaction? Because I
Um,
can't understand that through text, I can't engage.
I just don't care either way. Like,
Yeah, I will take it with me.
yeah.
So I don't. But thanks for listening. I mean,
Thank
whatever
you for
happens,
hate watching, watching, or love watching. Either
whatever you
way,
did, those
do
people.
that. I find that haters themselves are some of the most loyal listeners. So they clock in every single time. They never miss a day to hate. So
Amen.
not that anybody's hating, because trust me, like
I
I
would we would
know.
know.
No.
So, Tim,
Yes.
we have both now finally engaged with Wicked in the
I
theaters.
have engaged with it multiple times.
Yeah, I finally just watched it the other night after I think have you seen it two or three times now?
I've seen it four times,
Four
yes.
times. Um, and
And I'm still seeing things that I didn't see before, so I will probably go another
it's a
couple
two and a
times.
half hour plus movie, so there's a lot to digest
It's
for
a
sure.
great way to like if you don't have anything to do and you want to watch, like you want to go in and come out at night, yeah, do
Oh yeah,
that.
do that. um, so let's start here before we get into the movie. What, if any, relationship do you have with Wicked
The
prior to that?
only the only thing only relationship I had to Wicked
Yeah, I was hoping I was like I bet we're gonna have the same answer, but I'm curious. Go ahead.
was like one time somebody wanted to sing for good.
Oh, okay.
And so I sang that. I didn't know where it was from or anything like that. And because of this resurgence in
Mm.
my life, I was like, oh, that's where that song is from.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Nice.
So, and then The Wizard of Oz is a thing.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
that's all I knew. Like,
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I was, because I was a choir kid, which is adjacent to theater kids, I was aware of the phenomenon of Wicked. I was dating somebody at the time when the musical came out who was really into the books.
okay.
And all of the Oz books, not just the current ones that are from people's different perspectives. But he was a theater kid. He was really into the books, and then the musical came out. So I was aware of, but not did not care.
Yeah.
Um, and then I was well. I'll say this: as a Glee kid, which is where I thought you might be going, I had never heard.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, like I saw the little green watch, but I didn't know that was from Wicked.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I had not engaged with, although I was aware of the musical, I had not heard any of the songs. And
Mm.
then in season one of Glee, there is a very pared down version of Defying Gravity with Rachel
Right.
and what's his name, whatever his name is, Kurt. Thank you, Rachel and Kurt. That when I saw Glee, I loved it. Like it's actually like their second or third most streamed song still. Like I
Really?
absolutely love the I love the duet of it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, this is a cute song. What is that from? Oh, this is from Wicked. I know that musical, whatever. And then for the next 15 years, that was it. Like
Yeah.
I knew Defying Gravity. I knew it was from that thing. Did not
I
engage.
didn't know. I didn't know that's where that was from. Like I like you. I think I know the story of why it was in Glee more than the actual song itself.
Right. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I knew that Kurt was like able to hit the high F but didn't for some reason.
Hmm.
And like they didn't even let Mercedes like try to be do that, which baffles me. So
Hmm.
um it was just like this diva off. And I'm like,
Right.
but you have like the diva over here that you didn't even let doing that. But anyway, that's
Right.
Glee.
Glee. That's Glee.
Listen,
Different episode.
different episode. We'll have to talk about that.
so so that's my Wicked intro. And then a year or two ago, the Broadway production of Wicked came through Richmond.
Mhm.
And I am dating a former theater kid, rehabilitated theater kid. No, don't really know what to call him, but he was very involved in theater and musical theater in high school and college. So he's kind of been my gateway into going to see these like first few Broadway shows I've ever seen before. Before
Mhm.
dating Al, I'd not done any like Broadway productions, and so I think the first thing we saw was Wicked. We've seen Wicked and Mean Girls and Beetlejuice,
Mhm.
um, and Wicked was really good. It was fun. It's a very lively show. The stage production is a lot of fun to watch.
Mhm.
And we'll get into songs and stuff as we dig into this. But I've seen the musical, the Broadway production, and had a fine time. Thought it was fun. Checked that box, but didn't walk away from it like moved or changed in my soul in any kind of way. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it is a fine to good musical. And then.
Let's just talk about that portion
Okay.
of like because and we kind of like we kind of delved into this with Interview of a Vampire because you kind of put a character that has specific like backgrounds and features and um just a different it just gives you a different feel of the characters and how they interact with one another,
Hmm.
especially as like if you see yourself in it a little more.
Oh,
Like
sure.
because I I looked at like a couple things after I saw it the first time. I looked at a couple like YouTubes about like what happens, and because listen, people, we're not gonna get it for a year. Also, spoiler alert to everybody who ain't seen it.
Oh God, yeah, we're gonna talk
Do
about it.
not listen to this if
Don't.
you care about spoilers. I don't know why you haven't like went to go see it. I understand like everybody, it's Christmas, it's whatever. But we will be talking about this.
Yeah.
Um
Are you going to talk about any parts in part two that hasn't come out yet? Like the story overall?
um not in particular. Have you
Okay,
not
cool.
you saw the play?
I've seen it, and but I honestly don't remember everything that happens. I mean,
Okay, so like
we
I
all
haven't
kind of we all kind of know what happens because we know,
yeah.
we know the the Wizard of Oz. But yeah, I kind of forgotten. But it's one thing to spoil something that's out. It's another thing to spoil something that technically is not out yet. Blah blah blah. But the story is out.
Well,
It's a weird
technically
spoiler.
the plot has been out for 20 years.
But yeah, it's in the book. It's in the play. Like just
Yeah.
yeah, just deal with it.
Yeah. But yeah, like the character of that Cynthia Erivo is playing usually is played by a white woman
Hmm.
or someone of not colored descent.
Hmm.
Um, and it just it gives a different feel when there's a black woman behind that green.
Yeah.
Specifically a black woman with black features.
Hmm.
Um, it just changes a lot of things for what you get out of it
Oh yeah.
and how Glenda plays or is being played. Um, it changes the dynamic of things when both counterparts are not the same
Yeah.
gender or it's not the same demographic.
It's such a it's an interesting way POV of the story because again, spoiler alert, but a big part of the musical is the fact that the witch is green.
Yeah,
So she is heavily othered in the entire performance, and it's a big pivot because of the reasons that Glinda and her are not friends, and then they are friends, and how that evolves. And Adina Menzel, Adina Menzel, I just John Travolta her, brought that character to life in the original production with Christine Chenoweth,
yes,
and um, and hey, as a renthead, love her. Her voice is forever. I
amazing.
mean, fucking Frozen, like she gets all
Yeah,
the flowers. When they casted Cynthia in this role in the movie, it was like the character is about feeling different in your skin and being othered, and then she gets casted, and it's like, yeah, yeah,
well,
this
not
is
only
gonna be a
that,
this
but
is gonna be a
like,
different perspective and
but
approach to
yeah,
this.
like I mean, even the fact that because she's like when Adina Menzel or whoever, I mean, there's been multiple alphabets
Hmm.
since. Like the idea that this is the Munchkin uh, governor's daughter,
Hmm.
like it just gives a certain like, okay, well, everybody's kind of on the same playing field as richness,
Right.
So like when when you give it to a black girl, like you have her father being white, so maybe she doesn't even like they don't even have that to like go off of. It's
Yeah.
like they don't have that even playing field because he's like, get her away from me. She's too colored.
Mm.
Like she's not light skin. Like that sort of like we have a lot of that in colorism in the community. So
Yes.
even with that, you can play with colorism. You can play with like just being othered, whether you're queer or just there's so many different levels
Yeah.
that because you have this person who is of most of those things,
Yeah.
you can kind of play around and see what you get out of it.
Yeah. And I think there's also an interesting conversation that we won't get into here. Well, I can't get into because I don't know enough about Broadway history to really talk about it in depth. But the kind of like classic white female voice of Broadway
Yeah.
that musicals are written for,
Hmm.
right? So when people compose music, they are thinking in a certain way, and or they're thinking about a specific way of presenting that voice.
Yeah.
Compared to historically black musicals like Raisin in the Sun, or that's not a musical, that's a stage play. Or what's the one
Dream
2006 Beyonce
Girls,
movie? Dreamgirls, um,
Cadillac
or,
Records.
per
Is that a mute? Bro, I don't
oh
know. I
yeah, yeah,
am
yeah.
not in this world at all.
No,
Like
no, no. The
none
color. Oh,
of
the
it.
color purple.
Yes.
There are a bunch of um, primarily black cast musicals that the voices are written to also perform and be a certain way in those musicals, right?
Yeah.
What's interesting about Wicked is that because the character is green and no one is naturally green, you can play around with how you want to present that character
Yeah.
and what they're doing underneath, right? And yeah, historically, she's always been casted as a white presenting, as a white, not white presenting, but a white person. Um, and then you get Cynthia's voice,
Yeah.
which is amazing and beautiful. This amazing,
It's
beautiful black female voice.
well, that's the thing. It is not the typical black voice though. Like
Not
it
typical,
is
but
it is very ethereal. It's very like
it's dynamic as hell.
it's
She can do.
measured, but also like just otherworldly. Like it she does such I've been a fan since my God, years ago there was this movie. It was just it was only in limited theaters, and I don't even know where I went to go see it, but she had a song in it, or she sang the one of the soundtracked songs. It's called "Fly Before You Fall,"
Mhm.
which is very weird because she flew before she fell, or she fell before she flew. It was such a beautiful song. I loved it to death. She's been on the Terrell Show before.
Mhm.
Um, if you just have some time, just go to YouTube and put Cynthia Erivo singing on anything. Her rendition of Alfie is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
only second to The Wizard and I for me. But yeah, like she has such a like it is a black churchy voice, but it's just so dynamic and it can do so many different things.
Yeah.
Um, kind of like Ariana Grande's voice. Like
Well, I mean,
I
I
mean,
didn't want to ruin our Cynthia train, but like,
no,
there's
I
this
mean
other
they are both. This movie is because of both of them.
they are performing, both
Yeah,
performing at such a level.
yeah, perfection.
It's
Yeah,
so good. I don't know how often you cackled and laughed at Ariana in the opening sequence. This
I
bitch.
was angry. So it took me to I'm so glad I went to go see it the second, third, and fourth time
Uh huh.
because I'm finally cackling at her things.
It's so good.
Listen, I once again I get triggered by whiteness sometimes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
and it's there, it's present.
And she's capital W
Yeah, yeah,
white
yeah,
in this
yeah.
movie.
Blonde,
But
pale. Unusually and peculiar.
wait, wait. Um,
Blonde. Like,
yeah, yeah. So you won't hear any Cynthia hate on this podcast,
well, you will never listen, bitch.
and
You'll get blocked.
you'll get blocked.
If I
And
see it, hear it, you're gonna get blocked.
prior to this movie, Ariana Grande kind of like fluctuated I've never really like disliked her, but depending on what album she's doing or what's going on, like she's fluctuated from whatever to like, oh, I kind of like that bop. Like I haven't had any
She's been
strong
a pop star.
opinions. Yeah, she's a pop star. I don't have any strong opinions about her.
I remember when she was, on like, was it Periscope or something? And she was just kind of like sitting there like, oh, I can whistle tone. Like, I love Mariah Carey. And then, like, they got the comparisons and
Yeah.
people
Oh, you're gone.
hated her because of that. But simply enjoy. Yeah.
There you are. Hey,
What was the last time you heard me say?
she was on Periscope. She could whistle tone, and then
And then like the girls, they were like, "You're not Mariah Carey, you can't do it." Yeah, yeah, yeah. But ever since then, she's found her own lane, and she's been on The Voice as a coach. She's been like um she's got her own like lane for things. And this, I mean, I knew she was a theater kid from like Nickelodeon and stuff like that, so I knew she could act.
yeah.
But I didn't know this was in her.
No, and it's one of the few things like a lot of people don't follow or watch SNL a lot these days because comedy and the way we get comedy has changed in so many ways. But SNL is still a good testing ground for
Yeah.
people's talents.
Hmm.
And it's been her last couple appearances on SNL where I'm like, this girl's talented. I already know she can
Listen,
sing.
if nothing else, the way that she can mock every fucking singer,
She's an impersonator and she's got comedy chops. Her
yeah,
timing
she
is
does.
really good.
She's actually funny. Like when she talks, like just in random things, she's just funny. She's a funny bitch.
She's
Like, and
hilarious.
the
Yeah.
fact that she's gone through so many ethnicities, it's crazy. Like she was black at one time. She was like kind of Asian. She was a little bit like, I don't know, Italian for a second.
Well, she technically is Italian.
She's Sicilian. But
Not you riding like technically Sicilian. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you next. Um bitch. I think suffice to say we both love these two leads. Like
yeah, I love them.
just
Like I've been waiting for I've been waiting for Cynthia Erivo to really like hit in the way that I knew that she would hit like this because she's so cool. Like she's just the perfect like person to embody this sort of like stardom that happens when you do things like a big movie that has a heels of something else. Like it's a Broadway movie, pretty much.
yeah.
And, like usually there's people who like come out of that and they have a specific type of stardom,
Right.
like Amanda Siegfried.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like when she did, like, yeah, we knew her as Karen, but when she was like
Mamma
in
Mia. Yeah.
yeah, like she became something different.
Yeah.
And like I'm so excited for Cynthia Erivo to show us what she's always been doing. Like
Yeah.
she from Gate, she I Can Sing. Is that a Broadway musical? I think she was in.
Oh, okay.
Um, she was on Chewing Gum. She was in Chewing Gum as that was like her first TV
Oh,
role.
that's right. Yeah, she
Yeah,
was.
she's been in a lot of different things. She also is quite like Ari, and she loves to take somebody's partner. Love that for her. Um, we see each other, but and it's just I love her. I love her as Cynthia Erivo,
Yeah.
and now as Alphaba, I worship at
Oh
her.
yeah.
It is this is the Chubb is a stand account for Cynthia Erivo.
Yeah.
Like she's amazing. And what she did is nothing short of phenomenal.
I really wanted to avoid listening to the soundtrack until I was able to see the movie. I wanted to experience that
I
in
was
that
so glad
break.
I did because I wouldn't have been able to pay attention. Because,
So that's actually a good point because what actually came through a little bit was obviously for trailers and little snippets was portions of Defying Gravity, right?
yeah,
And and I finally cracked and I was like, oh, I'm kind of curious because there's so many big parts in that song. I'm just gonna listen to it, whatever. And so of course on the soundtrack, I'm doing my walks every day. I'm listening to it like on repeat because it's so good, and I'm crying because it's
yes,
just so beautiful. And then again, spoiler alert for the ending of this movie, it ends on Defying Gravity before they do part two,
yeah,
and I knew the song. I've been listening to it on repeat for weeks, and
yeah.
I still goosebumps
Girl,
and tears
I I'm
and
so glad I listened to it 45 times so that I could like oh, music to me is a physical experience. When some and
oh,
that's how I felt.
that's
Um I felt like it was too much and it's overpowering and the cops needed to come
that's
for
right. They need to
sure.
get called here.
I just like I would not have been able to. First of all, when she, the wizard and I, that end, I would not have like I would have been in the floor of this nasty theater. I could not like I cannot sit somewhere and have somebody singing down and me not feel unless I've heard it over and over again, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I want to talk a little bit about the songs individually for a minute because
okay,
I'm
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
curious about your take on that. Um, the What's interesting about Wicked, and we're talking about part one, and again, like I don't really have a lot of memories of the second part of the musical. It's been a couple years since I've
yeah.
seen it.
And I haven't seen it. I just know like kind of what happens.
Yeah. But specifically when it comes to the music, one of the things I walked away from the Broadway musical was feeling, unlike something like Rent or Hamilton,
Yeah,
I walked away from the Broadway musical feeling like that was nice.
yeah,
Like mid to good because the highs of the music, like Defying Gravity, like the
yeah,
highs are so high
yeah.
that when Jonathan Bailey is dancing around to Life is a Dance or whatever it's called,
Dancing through life. Yes.
Dancing Through Life, that is the mid song I've
Yeah,
ever heard in my life. There's so much energy on the screen, they're doing so much, and I
yeah.
want to get into it. And that is the chorus, it's just a mid song. And again, this isn't what I'm about to say
It's
is
a
not
baritone song. Like it's
he's a cutie patootie shaking his booty, and I do not care about what's going on sonically.
yeah,
This next statement I'm going to make is not about Cynthia. It is about the song. The
yeah.
Wizard and I, up until the end, because the ending, she walks out on that ledge and she kills it, right? The melody, the approach to that song, again, like if you can take, I know Cynthia has really presented it for you. Imagine the white woman doing that.
Oh no 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 no. Okay okay okay
You know what I
okay.
mean?
If you want
If
me to just
you,
go for the song
as
period and
somebody
not
who's
the yeah.
composing that melody as it's
Oh no no.
written,
This is
the
like oh little girl yeah.
the song is mid, and so that's what's really interesting about taking a musical that for me sonically was written from like that's cool to like there's some really interesting, there's some like again Defying Gravity and those high notes and the call there, it's just so high, but for a long chunk of it it's kind of like this is fine. To put somebody like Cynthia in it to really elevate it, like the Wizard and I now, it's like, oh, this is a great song. It's not a great song. She's fucking outstanding.
This is the difference between this is what I'm talking about when I say like she is perfect for this role
Yeah.
in this way. Like, I'm so glad that like she's not just doing it on Broadway, but like it's
Mm.
in film.
Yeah.
It's in the sound is right. The the set is right.
Yeah.
Like there's no like little man in black moving the things around.
Right.
Like I need her there on in the meadow
Yeah.
at the edge of glory
Uh,
singing
yeah.
to the most high. Like
Yeah.
I need her singing about the wizarded eye. Like and I need like I like her her runs are always like it's never too much. It's just enough to tell the
No.
story. Like she is committed to like disappearing into Alphaba and like telling Alphaba's story through her vocals rather than she can give you just straight up like I'm telling you she could do that.
I was just about to say, and I am telling you, is a song written for somebody who is going to, and I don't mean this derogatorily, showboat. That is
Yeah.
written for somebody who can do runs and is
Yes.
and has been waiting their whole life to
Hmm.
do it in the most extensive, outlandish way. That is what the song
Yes.
is for. Cynthia, who can do that, like
Absolutely.
there's this she when she does do runs or she does do a tag, she is there's something it's because she's like holding back for so much of it
It's magical.
that when she explodes at the end of defying gravity, it's a fucking force.
And even
Oh.
the way she speaks about it in interviews, I'm just like, I see what you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of times, like, artists will be like, oh, this is what I meant by this. And I'll be like, I don't really see that, but okay, good for you. I'm glad you thought you did that.
Mm.
With her, it's almost like she's doing a painting and she's showing you
Mm.
with her song, with taking the words and like bringing about a bashfulness about it through a run.
Yeah.
And that is so hard to do because when you're doing a run, you're doing the run.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to gag the girls.
Yeah.
And it's hard to like also do a run, know you're doing it, but create a bashfulness in it and like
Mm-hmm.
a story within it that is
Yeah.
not like, ooh, look what I just did. I just went down the whole keyboard for your ass.
Right.
And and I'm still a little girl that's so excited to meet my dad. Like the fuck? Like
Before I forget, side notes, and again, spoiler alert, because it's technically wasn't revealed in the movie, I guess. In
I
part
mean, if
one.
you didn't
So
understand that Jeff
we went.
Goldblum is not
Okay, okay,
singing
okay.
down.
So we went to go see the movie. It was me, my partner who knows it, and then our friend who has never done. He's not involved with it at all. He doesn't know anything about Wicked.
Yeah.
And we get through the opening sequence of the story of Elphaba being conceived and birthed, and Jeff Goldblum, the wizard, is singing the opening song. That is Jeff
Yeah,
Goldblum's voice.
it is.
So if you've
It's
never
the
seen the musical,
apartments.com guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. For those who don't know, so if you don't know, if you don't know his voice, I guess like it's not a giveaway. But
Yeah.
it, he gives her the green thing. He's from the Emerald City. Like
They're drinking something from a green like
it's alluded to minimally. But if you know that Jeff Goldblum's, or it's Jeff fucking Goldblum. So when we were driving back, and I forgot they
it's
didn't do the
Zeus.
reveal.
It's
Right?
Zeus
Yes.
from Chaos. Like
When we're driving back, the friend who doesn't know anything about the musical, we were talking about it, going over it, and I was like, that's a really brave thing to have Jeff Goldblum sing the opening number but not reveal that he's the father, because it's kind of a giveaway.
because it was a different guy.
And he
It
goes
wasn't him.
Jeff Goldblum's the dad? I was like, oh, I didn't realize he didn't make the connections.
I mean,
I felt bad. I was like, I don't like to ruin shit for people, but I was like,
oh,
I know, I don't know. It was kind of the funny moment. Can I say when I won't say this isn't disparaging on Cynthia. She's too cool for me. Those interviews,
no, she's absolutely just. I want to be her so
she's
bad.
too like her outfits, her style, her
Her
poise, her
ear,
attitude.
like you remember when I had like all the earrings?
Hmm.
I missed them so. I was, I didn't know that I wanted to be Cynthia when I was doing that, but I was going for Cynthia.
She's alien beautiful. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
She's a foreign beauty, and
yeah.
it's like, what is happening when
She's
I
a
watch?
nymph.
She is. She. That's a great way to put it. She really, really is. She's just. She is just otherworldly, and for her to like
And the
when they
way that
went.
she talks. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Yeah. I also like I
She
have to
just
keep reminding
talks like
myself she's British. I'm like, oh yeah, she's British.
it's not the accent though. Like a lot of people are just like it's the way that she talks. She brings you like she's talking right here.
Yes, she
And
has you
she
come
brings
into her.
yeah, you have to
Yeah.
like go inside of where she is.
Yeah, she's working the media and this whole press tour.
And she
You know
has like a
where
deeper voice for a woman.
she
Like
does. She has a more
I
not husky,
love
but yeah.
that. Like there's a husk, but then she opens that mouth. Oh, dying.
Let a couple of things. I actually like Jeff Goldblum is one of those people that he's like a spice that some people do not like. I think he's great when used sparingly. I thought he was
Yeah,
used
yeah, yeah, yeah.
perfectly in this role. At the very end, he sings
Listen,
about two lines.
I stopped watching Chaos. It was a little too much, but this is enough. Like,
Perfect for Mr. Goldblum. Michelle Yeoh,
and she acts like, and he acts like her. He acts like Jeff Goldblum.
yeah.
Like it's the same thing. Michelle Yeoh, good.
Just like in that role, again, she only has to sing a couple lines, and she kind of speaks. That's
Yeah.
whatever. It's
Also,
not a singing role, but
also using other people of color
I mean,
against the black girl.
it
I
is.
mean,
It's a way to
it's
go
not
about
a
it.
thing that happens.
Yeah, she's great in everything she does. I really like her. There was some talk about Bowen Yang. He's a buddy of Ariana, and she kind of helped get him the role. He's not
Huh.
really known, like he's just kind of getting into like movies and stepping outside of SNL. And I was a little concerned. I'm like, he's at a level with his comedy where I'm like, if I see a comedian in a movie, I see the comedian in the role, not as the character. So I was a little worried, like him being in there, I was gonna be like, that's just Bowen Yang at school. And I was like, oh, he did a really good job.
No,
I
like
thought he was great.
I almost forgot. I mean, it wasn't a huge role.
No, it's a
Like,
side character. Like
it's
he's
one of
part
the
Mean
like he's
Girls.
the bitchy gay.
Yeah,
Like
and he did it perfect. When he comes up to him and says, "Can you do me a favor?" He goes, "Anything, whatever you want." Yeah, just can you get out of my way?
no, he didn't. He didn't do that. He said anything, whatever you want. Like yeah.
I forget. I've seen it once. You've seen it 4 times. You can actually probably quote it by now.
I mean, dear Linda, you are just too good. No,
When Ariana, okay, so we laughed out loud multiple times in our theater, and also like the theater wasn't packed. Like we just went last night, so it's like in the second or third week. On a weeknight, we went on Thursday, so it wasn't expecting to be packed, but there were enough people in there where like when we were laughing, I expected more laughter. I don't know if everybody else is just old, but like we're losing our shit, and people are like not responding in the same way, and I'm like, what's going on
no,
here?
it's just like if they're singing, they might be like me. It's just like it's hitting home a little too much.
Oh, fair enough.
Like yeah.
When
Like
Ariana throws,
y'all can laugh because you know it doesn't hit you too hard.
when
But
Ariana throws herself on the bed dramatically,
yeah,
I
or when she's like, oh, you just need to be popular. Even like I know it's supposed to be serious, but now that I've seen it 4 times, I kind of giggled last time. Like she was like, just say you're sorry. Like, I was like, yeah, bitch. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's
just
me.
yeah,
Like,
do that.
just after all of this,
Say you're sorry.
they done told the whole world this green skinned bitch ain't never gonna
Right.
be Like, but just say you're sorry.
Sorry, Sarah. It's fine. You can come back from it.
And I'm like, what a life.
Yeah. Ask me how I know I'm bi. Every time Cynthia, they would do this shot of her face when she was getting excited or slightly happy, like
Yeah.
when Michelle Yeoh's character like invites her into the school.
Mhm.
Her glasses. First off, I want those fucking glasses. They wouldn't work on my face, but I fucking want
Everybody
those glasses.
literally wants those
I
glasses.
so good. But
You know,
Cynthia
Oprah has
Vita.
them.
So what?
I saw Oprah with them.
Oprah has done it. Um, when they get a close up on Cynthia's face reacting to like positive feedback, she does this like subtle half grin
Yeah.
smile that like shivers. Like
Yeah.
her being happy in a role that's not like this character is broken, right? Or has been broken and is now like going to do what she's
Yeah.
gonna do. When she finds happiness or these little inlets from her like away from her father, it sent chills when she would like do the little
It's
half
because
smile.
that is the story. It's just like you find these little bits of happiness, but it's not meant for you. I'm not that girl. Like, so let me not get too happy
Right.
about it. Like something's gonna happen to fuck this up.
I'm not. Is that the name of the song? I'm not that girl.
Yeah.
Another mid song that she kills.
Bro, why? I'm like, bitch. I'm like, don't tell me you just went through this whole motherfucking
When
piano.
her and Ariana start doing the feather dance or whatever, the rhino dance, whatever Cynthia's deciding to do
It's
from it.
it's Alphaba's march.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
truly. Yeah.
When they start doing that and she like recognizes her tear when Cynthia fucking cries, the world is hurt.
It's because the world is most of the world is of color. So we get it. We get not being cool. And we put on this armor to get through life. And a lot of people don't recognize it. They think that, like, they say, oh, you're so strong. Oh, you've got everything figured out. Well, I have to.
Yeah.
Because nobody's here to save me. There's no Fiero. there's no Bo and Yang for me. There's no, like, it's just me. My dad didn't help me. I had to help my sister the whole time. And nobody was there for me except for the animals who, are being wiped out. But so
Yeah.
it is just a callback to life in general to see this character. Um and like the first time I saw it, I did not see it for Glinda. I was like, I don't care. And it's because I didn't know the story. So I had saw all of these like interviews with those two to be like, oh, it's a story about friendship and everything like that. And so I've been sold that.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, this bitch is whiting very hard. Very. Like fish down. Like fried whiting. That is what she's doing. And now all of a sudden it's cool because, you got me, you got me what I always wanted because you had the power to do it the whole time. I
Yeah.
wanted to be with Michelle Yeoh and be the next big wizard, but it turns out your ass is already, even before you got here, you were every woman. It's all in you. And it's just so I've had secondhand experience with so many black girls who just have to do it because it won't get done otherwise.
Yeah.
And it gets put on as like this armor. And so people like Fiera, who's like, I love that she just like doesn't care. And then yes, there's a I see you moment with Glenda where she's like, she does care. She just like has to act like she doesn't.
Right.
And so I see that she sees her in that moment, but know that the only reason why she came to help her at that moment was because she got what she wanted. Like, because Glenda got what she wanted and was able to train with Madame Morrible, she
Hmm.
then was like, "Oh shit, I actually was a real horrible bitch." Like,
Yeah. Yeah, no, she recognizes that Elphaba is capable of being friendly and capable of being kind. You know, she was kind to her. She thought she was being kind to her sister and responded in such. And it's like,
yeah,
oh shit. Yeah.
yeah, she's like, "Girl, she's not mean. I feel bad now."
Yeah.
Because the thing about it is people forget that, yeah, you can, a lot of times when it comes to, say, me and you, we get in a fight, and I badmouth you to maybe my friends or whatever. They don't have any power. They can't change your life in any kind of way. But then you go badmouth to your friends who are bosses, who are different, like people who can really change the trajectory of my life. But because they like you and they don't like me, I no longer get jobs. I no longer get anything. Like
Yeah.
things that would really like put people on similar platforms or
Yeah.
whatever. But and that's the difference between like Glenda and Alphaba being mean to one another. Is like the whole school hates Alphaba because of this rivalry that they have between each other.
Right.
But the whole school is rivaling against Glenda. I mean, against Alphaba.
Right.
Like she has nobody. And Glenda is like, well, you know,
Even Nessa ain't fucking with Alphaba in the way I feel that
shut
she
up,
needs to.
Alphaba. Don't hate on Glenda. We know that you don't like her.
Come on, sis. Come on.
Listen, you deserve nothing. Like,
I will. You're about to have a house dropped on you. I think that
you
just
don't
a couple.
deserve that. But like,
Plow. Jonathan Bailey, you know, I'm a stan. He was in a gay show on Showtime recently that he's a cutie patootie and he's kind of charming and he can act. I'm
and he's
sold.
gay.
He's gay, love it. SpongeBob SquarePants, don't know his name. He was obviously more famous before the movie because of what happened with him and Ariana. The,
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Wasn't he already married though?
he was already married with a child that just happened. That being said, thought he was great in the movie. I thought
But
him,
you know, him and Ariana were the only two straight people on the set, so they were
well,
bound to get together.
yeah,
So
Munchkin Land.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I thought they were great. I went into this, you know, movie musicals are really set up to be terrible. They just don't pull them off very well all the time. It's very hard to not. The cheese factor of musicals is already so big. The cheesiness, you know, it's just it's the nature of what the art is. And translating that to film can be difficult. The fact that The Wizard of Oz was already like somewhat of a musical movie, I think
yeah,
helps with the idea of what this movie was going to be. Although this is much more of a musical than the original movie,
yeah.
but
I'm glad
um,
I wasn't like. I actually am glad that I didn't know much about it
yeah,
because it really. I don't know. It just changed how I feel about musicals in general right now. So I
yeah.
might go and see one or two of them.
Girl, go check out Mean Girls. It is so good. The musical is so
I
good.
saw the movie and that did not do anything for
A
me.
lot of people who love the musical did not love the musical movie.
Okay.
If you can see the Broadway version, that shit is so much fun.
How long is it?
It's a Broadway musical. It's gonna be about 2 to 2.5 hours.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they're all pretty much like in that window. So
I mean, I don't want to be sitting there for like 9 hours
no, oh
in
god, no, no,
something
no.
I can't
It's
stand.
yeah.
Like,
They keep it within the window of the movie pretty much. So
okay.
yeah. Anything else you want to say about Wicked?
Um,
Got your fourth stamp.
yeah, I'll probably go another time or
I'm
another
probably
time.
gonna go see it again. I
Yeah.
this is
But
one of
it's
those
because
movies.
I had to go in order to be able to like get the understanding of other characters. Because when I went first, I hated Glenda, I hated Nessa, I hated the wizard, I hated like
Yeah,
I
you're
like
racist.
I
Yeah,
hate I hated just I really didn't like Bach either because I was like, damn, you using Nessa.
yeah. You
Like,
like white people. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, y'all white a lot.
You
So
white
like,
you white really hard.
but when you get past like what y'all have done to me, um, like you get to
Hmm.
see like their perspectives as well. It's just like Nessa has always been taken care of. And her idea is that she wants to do things on her own, but she's just weak in different ways. Um, you get Glenda, who wants more than anything to be taken seriously as a wizard and is not.
Yeah,
um, because I mean, her powers are different.
yeah,
Like her power lies in persuasion and
yeah.
like
A
and
different type of magic. Yeah,
yeah, it's a different type of magic that is needed as well.
yeah,
um and then you feel sorry for Bach a little bit. It's like, damn, he got
yeah.
you.
Oh my god.
um
Bach and is it Fiego? Friego?
Fuego,
Fla-
Frio,
Jonathan Bailey.
Farrago,
F Money. F Money
yeah.
and Bach. I
He
watch
was
out
like,
part two.
don't, he was
Watch
like, don't
out
pick that up. Like,
part two.
he said, don't pick that up.
Don't
I
do
knocked it over for real. Like,
Don't do it. Jonathan Bailey running through the forest with a snow leopard. Like, just take my. You know what I mean?
well,
Just like
was it a
take.
snow leopard or was it just a lion cub?
Oh, whatever. Because I wasn't really paying attention to the cub. I was paying attention
Yeah.
to the
I
hold something
mean,
clearly was.
I pay attention to cubs. You pay attention to,
Yeah, you
you
do.
like twinks.
Yeah, you do. You change the cubs all the time. You like my sexy twink voice? Huh?
I love that for you.
You do look so gorgeous. This is so good. I love
Yeah,
it.
thank you. Um, no, but like I even that moment where she's like, I'm not that girl,
Oh,
and
so
she's
good.
like, but she just, I don't know, just that Alphaba is so played so well. Like there's a strength that everybody would love to think that they have, but they don't. Like
Mhm.
there's a softness that comes out only in certain like scenes. Like you see the time where she does soften to Fiero, whatever.
Mhm.
Um, and he really does want to um he wants to like be more.
Yeah.
I think that's what Alphaba brings out in people is they want to be more around her.
Yeah, they want to be.
Linda wants to be like a better person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like even the wizard, even I mean, if you think about the wizard, yes, he like used her, but he wants to bring all of us together. That's his thing. And whether
he
I mean, it's bad because,
he feels his purpose is noble.
yeah,
But even everybody needs Alpha Blood. That's the thing. Like,
yeah,
she is the main character. Everybody's feeding off of her, and
that's what I wanted to say.
Mhm.
Nobody's talking about this, but when Kristen Chenoweth and Adina Menzel did their part, and they were talking about the prophecy, why are people not talking about this? That Alphaba is the prophecy.
Right. She can read the book.
Not that she just can read the book, but she is.
I mean, it's part of the prophecy that
Yeah,
she like,
it
yeah,
a lot like why are we not looking into that more and realizing as millennials, a lot of us are the prophecy of our families. We are doing things that our families never were able to do. Like a lot of us are being able to say no in ways, making money enough to go on vacations that could never be done by our families. Like us homosexual people are being able to live lives that were once like just only a thought of our, back in the day counterparts. Like we are living prophecies in our families.
yeah,
And I think that's one of the things that I took away from it is like a lot. I know a lot of times I say, I want to show my ancestors what rest looks like. Like I think like so when they talked about like that there will be one that will come and all that, like it was funny, but I think a lot of people didn't really like think about that as far as Alphabet is concerned. Like she is everything. She is the whole point.
right.
She can read the Grimmery.
Grimory, yeah.
She has more power than all of Oz
Than
put together.
anybody in this fucking movie.
Yeah. And she also has the determination to use it,
Yeah,
which
the
is
discipline.
what really it takes to be a cycle breaker, to be just a lot of times our families they wish they could do the things that we do.
Yeah,
Like they wish that they could go to a job that they enjoy. Um like and because of that, sometimes your family, your friends will be the very people that you have to say no to, that you have to defy because of the things that they choose to believe for themselves.
yeah,
They believe that, you can't gravity and that you can't do anything different than what they've done. And sometimes there's a little bit of jealousy in that. Um, and it's so like I don't know. I just saw it when she was flying, and they were like, "There she is,
kill her.
kill her, not get her."
One of the few changes from the musical, which is get
Yeah,
her to kill her, right? Yeah,
like they would rather kill you
they want you
rather than
to.
come to where you are and rise above with you. And all
Mhm.
you want, like all she wanted to do was make Oz great, just like what they said that they want. But you want it on your terms, and that's not what it is.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I can tell you've seen this 4 times and have thought about it a couple times. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I no that I thought about that the first time before I was like, let me like think about the whiteness, like.
My
Like I heard the prophecy, and then I was like, nobody's saying, like I was combing through. I was like combing through. Nobody was talking about that.
yeah.
And I'm like, I am the only one who thinks too deeply about things. But
Not to make a funny point of at the end of that, but one funny thing our friend observed when we were talking about the ending and her, defying gravity and all that stuff. He goes, she did. So there's that huge explosion at the end where like the whole city goes black, and she goes, she did kind of like take away their electricity and put them all in darkness before she ran off. And I was like,
you said kill me, bitch.
Yeah, the store.
Well, I'm gonna kill the lights. How about that?
The people sweeping the roads and the storefront clerks like aren't really out in the streets asking to kill her, but to like your city is. Again,
and this is not. No. I'm not mad. I'm just saying. I'm like, bitch. You say kill me, and I'm killing your lineage. I'm done.
Yeah,
I have to stop you.
She's suffering no fools.
No, because I'm through accepting limits because someone says they're so.
Alfie, can I call you that, Alfie?
and never did I say yes.
Never agreed to it.
Never did.
But that's the beauty of Galinda, which is
that's the beauty of whiteness. You just be like, girl, whatever.
Never asking, just going with it.
Can I touch your hair? Oh, okay.
I was kind of curious how they were going to handle that part of Popular with her hairstyle, and I was like, oh, they did this right. They did that part of it right because that can get weird. And I was like, oh, they did this correctly.
The fact that they put micro braids in that girl's hair, I loved it.
Yeah. So I think we'd say go see Wicked. Yeah?
Yes, if nothing else, but for the nails.
Oh God, yeah.
And Ariana with those legs in the air.
Beautiful gowns.
Very popular. It was la la la. Lar. We deserve each other, me and Bach.
Tim, what's making you live this week? After we just had an hour talking about how Cynthia Rivas should top us, what's making you live this week?
Black women.
Amen.
Y'all are original. Y'all are it all. And I breathe because of you. I breathe for you, and y'all are my favorites. So,
amen.
Yeah, that's what I'm living for. What about you? What are you living for, Glenda?
Fine, Glenda. Whiteness. No, I'm living for white women. Love them. No, I'm living.
You want to co-op Defying Gravity?
No, I'm living for Cynthia in another way. I sent this to you on TikTok if you haven't seen it yet, or you've probably already seen it. But there's behind the scenes of her doing the stunts for
bitch. And she's going around. I'm like, bitch.
So not only is she acting in this movie, she's
an action figure. She
also looked at the stunt people and said, I know I'm breaking union rules, but fuck y'all, I'm learning how to do the stunts. So
she said, if you hire Cynthia Erivo, you don't need anything else.
She's flying through the air, she's singing live, and she's murdering it. So if you get a chance to look at, they're releasing some of the behind the scenes stuff.
But first, go look at the ending just for the cape alone.
The cape that keeps growing.
I was like, bitch, the cape.
Love capes.
Cape Cod, it's giving fish, honey.
Tim, where can people find us?
You can find us anywhere you can find green. You can find it in Envy. You can find it in Bear's Eyes. You can find it in all of biological things. But mostly importantly, you can find us at cubandchub.com.
That's right, cubandchub.com, where you can find our episodes, pictures of us, buy our merchandise. Thank you so much.
Buy your merch.
And you look so wicked. It's so good to see you.
Thank you. You look like a dream.
Everybody have a good week. We'll see you next time, okay?
So if you care to find me, look to the western skies, as someone told me lately. Bye-bye.